He's been one of the Premier League's true breakout stars of the 2022-23 season, playing 30 times and registering 10 goal involvements in all competitions for Manchester United as part of the Ten Hag revolution at Old Trafford. The career of Alejandro Garnacho is going from strength to strength, and it's no wonder when the life of this youngster has already been quite extraordinary. If it's interesting facts about United's number 49 you're after, stay tuned right here on Football Reality. So who is Alejandro Garnacho? Born on the 1st of July 2009, Alejandro Garnacho Ferreyra is still several weeks shy of his 19th birthday. A native of Arroyo-Molinos, a small working-class town on the outskirts of the Spanish capital Madrid, Garnacho was first spotted at a young age by local side Getafe, who gave him a place in their academy. But thanks to his obvious talent, it wouldn't be long before one of the big boys came calling, and in 2015 he was snapped up by Atletico Madrid. He took to the Atleti setup with ease. In the 2015-16 season as an 11-year-old, Garnacho scored 30 goals in just 25 games. The following year he was top scorer in La Liga's youth tournaments and barely let up over his next few seasons. It was no surprise that the left winger was attracting interest from not just Spain's, but the world's biggest clubs. In October 2020, it was Manchester United who won the race to Garnacho's signature, with his whole family moving to northwest England from Madrid with him. What perhaps tipped the balance for Garnacho was that he idolised Cristiano Ronaldo when he was a child, and maybe he wanted to emulate his hero, whose first big career move was to Old Trafford, even if it was before Garnacho was born. More on Garnacho's hero worship of Ronaldo later. In February 2022, he was centre of attention for his amazing solo goal in the FA Youth Cup and would later score 2 in the final as United won the competition for the first time in 11 years. At the end of the season, he made his first team debut, still only 17, in the Premier League against Chelsea, and also featured on the last day against Crystal Palace. After proving his worth in the cup competitions, he became a regular for Erik ten Hag in November, and only an ankle injury has kept him out of the side in recent weeks. And when we say prove his worth, he really had to do just that. Garnacho was selected for United's pre-season tour of Thailand and Australia, but did not play a single minute of football in either country. The reason? He twice turned up late to team meetings. In an attempt to instill better discipline at Old Trafford, Ten Hag threw the book at Garnacho, sending a strong message to the squad that tardiness would not be accepted. Garnacho would not play at all in pre-season until the final friendly at home to Rayo Vallecano. Credit to young Alejandro and to the manager's approach. Sources inside Carrington were soon saying he had really learnt his lesson and was now one of the first arrivals at training every day. It could also be remiss of us to label Garnacho as ill-disciplined in the first place. He was entitled to 3 weeks off in June after playing for Argentina under 20 at the Toulon tournament, but turned up at training earlier than planned in an attempt to impress Ten Hag. Perhaps he does have his head screwed on after all. He's just not great at remembering to set his alarm. Probably no one was happier than Garnacho to see Cristiano Ronaldo rejoin the club in the summer of 2021, and although things turned sour for CR7 in 2022, he apparently had a great influence on the youngsters at the club, and particularly on Garnacho, who relished working with his idol on a daily basis. Since Ronaldo's departure, it is said that Lisandro Martinez has treated Garnacho like a little brother, as the 18-year-old continues to work on his training regime and work ethic. Such dedication has helped him score his first Premier League goals, while in the Europa League against Real Sociedad, he became the youngest European goalscorer in United's illustrious history. To keep him grounded, Ten Hag has often downplayed Garnacho's performances, simply stating after a man-of-the-match performance against Sheriff Tiraspol, "He did what I expected him to do." Old Eric may be tough to please, but not letting the Argentinian get too big-headed seems to be paying off, with him still using the under-21's changing room earlier this season. Despite all these big names around him, no one has had a bigger effect on Garnacho than his family. Regulars in the posh seats at Old Trafford, sometimes as many as 25 of the Garnacho clan, have been there for some of the outstanding moments of his fledgling career, often seen getting over-emotional. It is thanks to support like that from a tight family unit that Garnacho has been able to thrive, naming his parents, Alex and Patricia, as his greatest sources of inspiration. Talking of family, let's get into why we're calling this young Madrileno an Argentinian. During his time in the United Academy, he was selected for Spain's under-18 side, making 3 appearances. But in March 2022, he accepted the call-up to the Argentina under-20s, playing a friendly before going to the Toulon tournament in the summer. How and why was he able to make the switch? The how is down to mum, Patricia, who was born in Argentina, making her son automatically eligible for her native land. As for the why, Patricia always made sure Alejandro was in touch with his Argentinian roots, often buying him Albi Celeste shirts and footballs in the light blue and white colours of her nation. Thankfully for his mother, Alejandro loved his Argentinian gear, developing a strong affinity with the South Americans from childhood. So when they came calling, it was easy for Alejandro to switch sides. Nothing proves his meteoric rise, quite like the fact he was named in Lionel Scaloni's preliminary squad for the 2022 World Cup. In the end, Garnacho didn't make the cut for the team that went on to win the tournament, but it goes to show how highly rated the teenager is. Also, it meant he went from playing with Ronaldo to training with Lionel Messi in a matter of days. Not the average life of an 18-year-old. Not the average life, indeed. And the lifestyle of Alejandro Garnacho is continuing to change dramatically, mainly thanks to his new 5-year contract he signed at Old Trafford just last month, increasing his wages tenfold. He'll now earn a reported £50,000 per week. It appears that Garnacho is ready to start splashing the cash, treating his friends and family to a big party at the luxurious Victor's restaurant in Manchester to celebrate his new contract. At least, that's what the attendees thought they were there to celebrate. It transpired the real reason Garnacho gathered them together was to announce that his girlfriend, Eva Garcia, is expecting their first child. Garcia was born in Spain, and Garnacho went public with their relationship in 2021, but had apparently known each other for a while beforehand. Via Eva's Instagram, we can see that she and Alejandro enjoyed traveling back to Spain, as well as to Paris and London. Nothing too extravagant or unusual for a young, modern couple with money to spend. With a baby on the way, things might get even more down to earth for the couple, yet, despite the money piling up, they made sure to make the most of their gender reveal party, where it was unveiled they were expecting a boy, who they'd already decided to name Enzo. When little Enzo arrives, he'll have quite the life of comfort. That wasn't always the case for Alejandro, who, after the humble beginnings outside Madrid, lived in basic accommodation in Sale, Greater Manchester, as he complied with quarantine measures. Once the country opened up, he lived with his parents and brother who had arrived in England, again highlighting the connection he has with his parents. Now though, he and Eva live together in a quiet part of Cheshire, away from the limelight, as they look forward to becoming parents themselves. Further debunking the myth that all footballers are just into fast cars and faster women, it appears Garnacho doesn't own a car or drive yet. He has been pictured sitting at the wheel of a stationary Mercedes, or has been seen arriving at Carrington in the passenger seat of one. On some occasions, he's even turned up to training in the back of a humble Uber. However, there is one new purchase that Garnacho has been spotted with. When announcing his new contract, he posed at Old Trafford with a big, toothy grin on his face, showing off his new set of teeth that the first £50,000 pay packet probably went on. We don't believe everything we see on Twitter, and neither should you, so we're tentative to believe quotes from there that say Garnacho used to go out and intentionally get beaten up so his teeth would look more like Cristiano Ronaldo's. That being before CR7 got his teeth done, of course. Nacho is probably too young to remember Ronaldo's OG gnashers, but stranger things have been done by kids to emulate their heroes. Not so he isn't too unlike his fellow professionals, Garnacho is covered in tattoos. Last week, after returning to the side from injury to play and score against Wolves, he unveiled a chest tattoo with the inscription, "Blessed by God." He also has tattoos on his arms of the characters from Prison Break, so no prizes for guessing his favourite TV show, plus one of a tiger. Also, he has ink of 2 men and a woman, thought to be his parents and grandfather, while his legs feature Captain Tsubasa, his favourite cartoon character when growing up in Madrid. Childhood nostalgia and family, it means a lot to Garnacho. So there you have it, an incredibly talented youngster who values family more than anything. How much potential do you think Garnacho has? Where will he be playing by the time he's 25? Let us know your thoughts in the comments and make sure you are subscribed to Football Reality.